Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today what I've got for you is another optic by CVLIFE. We've got the Bearswift 5-25 by 56 first focal plane optic. So let's get at it. So before I slide this box open and we take a look at the CVLIFE optic, I do have a few features of this video that I want to talk about up front first. And that is, this optic was sent to me free of charge by CVLIFE. In return, I do this honest review of it. They've also requested that I do not have a firearm in this video, so it's not going to be a firearm. We're going to be spotlighting and featuring just the optic, the Bearswift, the features, the specs, the pros, the cons, and my honest opinion. So let's slide this thing open and let's take a look at it. Now, one last thing I'd like to go over before I pull the optic out, and that is the packaging that CVLIFE uses on these optics, or really most all of their products. You're going to notice their packaging is quite simple. It's structural, it works, but you don't have a lot of marketing or brand awareness or a lot of costs going into this package that may trickle on down to the consumer. It's effective, it's useful, and it is what it is. So let's get into this thing. These boxes are sturdy, they're well made, and this thing has an airtight closure going on with it. So the thing is sealed up really well. Let's get this top off and take a look at this optic. All right. First thing we have in here is some protective foam on the top. We have a couple pages of our instructions and specifications, setup and directions and things like that to get you familiar with the product, in this case the optic. We'll go through that stuff in a minute here. And here is everything inside. Now this is a similar layout that you may have with your firearm, how you cut things out on the case and snug everything in there. Hey, and this is simple. It is a medium density foam. It works well, held everything in place. Nothing is moved around in here. So let's see what we've got going on in here. We have got a package with the CVLIFE rings in it. We're gonna go through this here more in a minute. This is a 34 millimeter optic, meaning the tube, the clamps that the rings are going to be going on, 34 millimeters. If I haven't gone through that, I'll be talking more about that in a minute. We have got a cap for our lens cap here. We've got some small cloth things. We'll figure out what those are. Allen wrench to set up likely our turrets. We've got 2 batteries. So the nice thing is this optic has an illuminated reticle. It's got 6 different settings, and you got 2 batteries in case you forget to shut it off. That's a nice feature. And this is a little knob. I'm going to be pulling all these things out, but this is a little knob that you're going to put on your magnification adjustment to allow you to get a better grip on that. Now what everybody's been really wanting to see, let's pull this optic out of here. This comes with a sunshade, and we're in a little bag here. Let's get this out. All right, here it is. Let's get this so everyone can see it here. We'll flip it around each way here. You can take a look at it. We'll go this way and this way. All right, so this is the Bearswift, the 5-25 by 56 first focal plane optic, 34 millimeter tube. So when I am talking about these clamps, if you're new to optics or you're new to these and you're not familiar what I'm talking about, just tear this box open a little bit. And this comes with your tools as well. These rings that are included, now these are a very high ring, so we'll talk about that more in a bit here. But these rings that are included are the 34 millimeter clamps that are going to go around your optic, and the base is going to hook into a Picatinny rail. Let's get back to looking at this optic. We have got our front lens cover on there already. It came in the packaging like that. I'm going to go through each of the aspects of this, each of the features, and kind of spin everything around and see how it feels and give you guys my honest impression of what I think about this optic. Now these are marketed and these are sold, if not on sale, for right around $299 US. I have seen them go on sale. CVLIFE does offer some sales, but the general price on these is basically 300 bucks in US. So let's look at our ocular adjustment. Boy, that's really smooth on this thing. This is moving no grit, no hang-ups. I'm going to take this from one extreme all the way to the other and see if I find any tight spots or anything. Moves very, very, very easy. It's well lubricated. I'm not hearing any grinding, anything like that. My only complaint might be, boy, that moves almost too easy. It does have, now this is a nice feature that I haven't seen on some optics. I'm not sure if you guys will even be able to see it, but there is a little white dot. See that little white dot right above that 0? So there's a little white dot as a reference point on this. Now that is a really nice feature. Generally, when you set up this ocular adjustment, you're going to set it up and leave it. You're not going to be moving this thing around, but putting these lens caps on here, these can sometimes cause that to turn. If you're flipping your cap around, I've got this up, you know, if you're turning, you may move that ocular adjustment. So that little dot on there, that's a nice feature. Moving on to the magnification. So this is an optic that goes up to a magnification of 25. I'm going to get some shoot through footage on this here in a second here, but we go up to 25. So moving this magnification around, this moves nice. Just like this, there's no grit, no binding, anything like that. Very smooth, smoother, gosh, smoother than a lot of optics I've messed around with here. And a nice feature here, I'm gonna get into this. This is the little throw lever. Let's see how this attaches here real quick. Let's get the optic back up. Got a small hole right here, and this little throw lever, I don't know if you guys can see this here. So this little throw lever is simply going to go into this hole. Now I may suggest that you put some kind of a locking compound on there. These are just going on hand tight, but if you're putting this on a platform with a lot of recoil, you could lose it. It's going in really tight as I can put that with my fingers on purpose to see if I can spin it out. It's not spinning out. So this is what it looks like once you put that on there, and this allows you to really get a better grip on that if you're going to swing from your 5 magnification all the way up to your 25, and boy, it does move well. All right, so let's move on here. So illumination. So on this optic, the center of the reticle is the only thing that's going to illuminate on this, and it's going to illuminate red, and you've got 6 different options as far as brightness that it goes. And the feature that I like the most about this, between each of your settings, 1 through 6, there's an off. So you don't have to spin this thing all the way around to get back to off. So you can go through each of those. So that is a nice feature. General just coin batteries. It comes with 2 of them. I've already got one in here. It comes with 2 of those. And that is your outermost ring. If this is mounted up on your platform, it would be your outermost left side is what's going to adjust this. And to get the battery in, you're simply going to remove this outer cap here. And that is also nice, smooth. These rings, threads on here are well made. And this is where our battery is sitting in here. So you're going to put some slight pressure on here. Let's see if I can do this out here. And we're going to spin this on real quick. There we go. And there is a slot in the end of these battery caps. I'll show you guys. You can use another battery or a coin or something to tighten that up a little bit more if you want to. So that works quite well. Let's get onto the turrets. That's what a lot of people are really interested in with an optic they're going to be using for some precision shooting here. Now the Windage turret on this has a lock. So you can push it in, will not turn, pull it out, and it turns. I'm going to pull this out and get it onto a 0, push it back in and lock it. The elevation turret does not have the locking feature. However, it does have a 0 stop. To operate the 0 stop, we're going to have to remove the cap, and there is another ring on the inside that you're going to adjust. And what the 0 stop does is once you get this all set up on your platform and you are 0, you're at 50 yards and you have got this thing all set up, but you're going to shoot a lot farther and you start to spinning things around and you go around more than once and you forget where you're at. Well, that 0 stop is nice. You spin it all the way around till it stops, you're back at your 0. So that's what you've got instead of a locking turret on the top. Now, let's spin these turrets around a little bit. I'm going to get this close. Let you guys hear that. Now the turrets have a pretty good feel. There's a little bit of mushiness to them, but I can definitely feel each click. The clicks are very tight. They're not a lot of distance between each one. If you were, Wearing gloves, I think you would still feel it, but it would be easy to go 2 or 3 clicks instead of 1 and have to back up to where you need to be. It does not take much force to go from click to click on here. Now this is the mil option on this optic. This does come in an MOA option as well, and the numbers on your turrets would just look a little bit different for that different math scale. But overall, the turret itself, there's no binding in this. I'm messing with the elevation turret right now. It's moving smooth. The clicks are precise. I don't have any play in there. And it's running up and down quite well. I will have some future content with this hooked up on a platform to see if this thing tracks well, but right now this turret feels quite well. I would say for the price, these are they're quite good. I would like a little bit heavier slam into each click just to avoid from trying to make it a minute adjustment and moving a couple. If you guys can hear that or not. Let's move on to the Windage one. So first thing, unlock it. Now, the Windage one, the clicks are a little bit more noticeable. However, I'm picking up on something here. I'm gonna get this close to the camera. Now, when I move this, see that little bit of movement there? What I'm getting is a little bit of free play between each click. Now, it's not enough that it's moving on to the next click, but there's a bit of a wiggle there. I'm not confident that that isn't going to cause a problem when we get to doing some precision shooting. Find out again once we get this thing mounted up and start sending some down range. In general, the feel is the same. I do realize if I can get this to do it again for you guys. If you don't have the turret unlocked all the way, there's a bit of an odd grind, and that has to do with the locking mechanism in there. So when you're adjusting this, it needs to be out all the way. You can hear those clicks. And you guys can see that little bit of play, the bugs on my hand here, that little bit of play that I'm talking about. Now, the last mechanical feature that we're going to go over on the optic is the side focus, or the Parralax. Now, this goes from 10 yards up to infinity with the last numeric marking at 500 yards. Now, what this is going to do is put the image that you're looking at in focus, and it's going to eliminate any parallax and keep your shots on target at multiple distances by keeping that all focused. So with this Parralax, moving through here, I can see everything is coming in focus and out of focus as it should as I spin this. And this is kind of tight, and that's something generally I like in a side focus because I don't want this moving between shots. This will move, it's moving freely from end to end. And as I move this thing around a bunch more, I think there's probably some manufacturing lubricant in there. And it's starting to loosen up a little bit, but not enough that I'd be worried about it feeling like it's coming loose. Now, this optic is advertised as having a longer eye relief, and what that means is to get a full eye box view through this optic, we don't need to be really close like this where we have concerns of recoil hitting us and the optic hitting us in the eye. So this is a long eye relief. So right there, I have a full eye box, and that's nice on an optic like this. It allows you to get quick into the eye box, get a full view. Let's get some shoot through footage and let's look at the glass and give this thing a quick run through. Now let's go through this shoot through footage. Now, while setting this optic up, a couple things became apparent really early on. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the illuminated reticle. Levels 1 through 6. Bright sunny day today, 100 yards shooting at a dark tree line. Now this optic needed a level 6 to be able to see the reticle illuminate. Now that's what I would expect on a bright sunny day like today. The video footage that I've got, it does not portray the reticle illuminating, but while looking through, it did illuminate it as I would expect. It functions quite well. It's crisp, clear, and bright. So the illuminated reticle, it works quite well. I tried to get some footage at a level 3, too bright of a day, and didn't work out. Level 6 was pretty good though. Now getting to the glass. Now the glass on this $300 optic is quite impressive. I'm not getting any distortion of the image as I move the dial around from the lower magnification all the way up to 25. We get up to the higher magnification, the eye box does tighten up quite a bit, and it takes a little bit more work to keep the entire reticle, the entire view box clear, crisp, and everything. All right, and there you have it, the CVLIFE 5-25 by 56 Bearswift unboxing and initial review. This optic has a lot to offer for $300, and I can't wait to get this mounted up and give it a try and see how it does at the range. So hey, until next time, get out to the range and keep on shooting.